But as far as using CGM for type 2 diabetics, I feel like it can be very beneficial for people in several different ways. One, just like the information we talked about with type 1s, as far as how your body is responding to certain things. So, both diet, obviously, you can actually see how eating that donut is spiking your blood sugar or at least keeping it really high. And then saying, that wasn't good. So let's maybe not do that. And or how eating a better diet is actually making it better. And so it can also help with people making better decisions more often because they can actually see how that decision is making a change and how significant that change is. And therefore, like, hey, this is worth it. Like, this is worth making that decision because I'm seeing such a drastic change in this number versus when I was eating, my numbers were not looking too good.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like a positive feedback saying like, hey, you're doing a good job. Keep it up.
Mm-hmm.
And that goes for both diet and exercise. So like, people have a hard time getting up and moving because they don't have a whole lot of motivation. They don't see a whole lot of value in it. But then you attach that number to it and say, hey, your numbers are looking a heck of a lot better just by getting out and walking or something like that. And so that can be positive in and of itself. So I think, and that, we see that oftentimes in clinical experience, people seeing numbers and seeing numbers change is oftentimes just helps with compliance and helps keep people motivated and wanting to make a change and sticking to their good habits and staying away from their bad habits. So I think those are kind of the two things that I think would be the most beneficial about having people with type 2 have a CGM is, one, you can tailor your care better, both personally and the doctor can tailor the care better. And then also it just helps reinforce and inspire them to continue to work hard and keep going.
Yeah, I would agree. That last point in particular, you'll find so many things, even as a type 2 diabetic, to what changes your blood sugar that you had no idea.
Yeah.
Right. So often, this is very anecdotal. I'm not saying that this is a causation by any means, but I have a woman who wears a Libre on her arm, and she's type 2 diabetic. I see her as a chiropractic patient. So we're working on mobility and functionality and addressing some pain patterns and some other things, but with the goal of just being able to stand for 30 minutes. Right.
Mm-hmm.
And after I adjust her and go through some treatment, some exercises, some other therapies, when she leaves, about 45 minutes after she leaves the office, her blood sugar drops, which is like really cool to hear and see.
Yeah.
Right. And that doesn't mean she needs to come in every time to get her blood sugar down, but it's just an effect, right?
Yeah.
That you can see. You can do the same type of effect of like, oh, I meditated, or
Yeah.
I once even took a cold shower to drive. The whole idea of cold shower is almost to like drive sympathetics up so then you can drive it back down, right? To get in a
Mm-hmm.
parasympathetic state. And I once took a cold shower and I saw my blood sugar go up when it was low and I was trying to fast. So I wasn't trying to eat. And so I thought it was interesting to see like, wow, I could really see how my sympathetics turned on, my glycogen breakdown going on and go like, I wouldn't have noticed that if I didn't have type 1 or if I didn't have the CGM.
Mm-hmm.
So there could be all these little cool, fun things that are motivating of good, healthy habits, one could say, and see it, whether type 1 or type 2. And I'll even add a third point to why it's beneficial for maybe a type 2 diabetic to wear CGM is that there's discussion in a very small amount of population between practitioners and people who do the labs of the accuracy of hemoglobin A1C, which we've talked about a little bit, and how an FDA approved, glucose average number that is on these CGMs is maybe more accurate than the actual blood test, which is a wild concept when you really think about it. Our
Yeah.
ability to look at blood and analyze it via an actual, assay and machines is less accurate than a Bluetooth signal of something that's in our body. That's kind of a weird shift.
Yeah.
But there's so many things that can be happening with the hemoglobin, the molecule within in the red blood cell that's being measured for the sugar, that could alter the results. For example, I have smaller red blood cell size, and kind of the shapes are different in a minor form called thalassemia, and where it's not life threatening, but my chemistry is different. So
Hmm.
every time I look at my own A1C, I have to think with almost grain of salt, is this actually as accurate as it's saying it is?